Okay, so now we've actually run our backtest, and we can plot this. So we can plt.plot. We have IDXS as our x values, and then what we can do is we do the cumulative sum of our PNLs, and you can see there is nothing. So that's interesting. So let's see what happens in PNLs. There's nothing in there. Let's see. Length, low. So they're quite long. Okay, so they're all the same length. So we have checked that. So we've got our inputs here. And so the first thing we can do is we can print entry, and then we print exit and see what happens. So there's no entry in exit. So there's no entry to start with, which is interesting. So the prices do not seem to go below the low or the high. So there's no exits at all here. So what we can do is we can make the bands a bit narrower. So hopefully this will actually generate some entries and exits. There you go. See, we make them narrower. Then there's some entries and exits. And then here we get this. And you can see it's not a fantastic P&L curve. So we don't really want to do any trading this way. Now, clearly we have to find some more sophisticated ways to do this. Now, one is obviously, again, a parameter optimization. So we can, for example, make this even shorter. But I suspect that this won't help us very much. So if we rerun this again, there you go. You can actually see that over the last 4,000 data points, it's actually done extremely well. And it's actually done really well in a lot of cases. But as you can see here, it's got these few really big drops, okay? And so you can see that in some of the cases, it's actually done really poorly, while actually, if you look in the majority of cases, it's actually done quite well. Yeah. So if, for example, we look at the P&Ls, you will see that most of them will be positive. See, most of them are actually positive, but when they're negative, they're really, really negative. Okay. So that obviously suggests that there may be a way to improve this, for example, by introducing a stop loss or something like that, right? So you could basically say, well, if my profit is really like going down and we don't exit, then we better just build a stop loss of some sort. Now that will clearly, in some cases, complicate things a little bit. And I don't want to go deep into this. I really want to just show you how this is used. The other thing you could say is, okay, we may not trade these things under certain market conditions. So there might be market conditions that cause these to drop so much, and we don't necessarily want to trade in those environments. So that's, another thing. The other thing is that we could also, for example, introduce the short side of this. And that's, of course, fairly straightforward. So I just copy and pasted the long side of this. And so what we now want to do is, if the prices are above the upper side and they cross into the lower side, we can turn this around. And then our entry is -1, okay? So we call that a short entry. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to have it below the mid price. if we go short. And then, of course, we need to turn the P&L calculation around because we're short. And we have a short exit. Okay, and so if we run this, you see we have long and short exits. So it doesn't really help us much, as you can see. So the strategy doesn't actually get any better if we introduce the short side. So this is definitely not a good way to do it. A better way, or there's obviously two ways. One is to play with the parameters, and another one is to perhaps introduce a stop loss or something like that. But again, this is mainly to show you how this indicator works, and this is one easy way to get it to work.